So, did you go to school today?
Yes, I do. Yes, I did.
What did you do at school today?
I study and have my and I need to take my score.
Very good. And did you stay all day or just in the morning?
I just stay in the afternoon.
In the afternoon. Okay, very good. Okay. And I showed you our snow, and it got warm yesterday, and our snow melted. So now we don't have any snow left, which I like because it's but it's going to be very cold. Today it is going to be, let's see, I will tell you. Today it is going to be -6. That's very, very, very cold. So I will stay inside my house. So, Bao Tran, did you get to read?
Yes,
Okay, well then let's start. Did you read? And Khanh Tran, did you read through the end of chapter 5 or just to where we stopped? Page 43. Did you read that, the rest of that?
yeah.
Okay, so we can start chapter 6. Let's start chapter 6. Okay. Khanh Tran, would you like to start first?
Okay. Is the weather good for fishing? We must think what to do, Papa said. They are suspicious now. To be honest, I thought that if they came here at all, and I hoped they wouldn't, that they would just glance around, see that we had no place to hide anyone, and would go away. I'm sorry I have dark hair, Alan murmured. It made them suspicious. Mama reached over quickly and took Alan's hand. You have beautiful hair, Ellen, just like your mamma's, she said. Don't ever be sorry for that. Weren't we lucky that Papa thought so quickly and found the pictures? And weren't we lucky that Liz had dark hair when she was a baby? It turned blonde later on, when she was 2 or so. In between, Papa added, she was bad for a while.
Bald. Bald. That means had no hair.
But for a while. Alan and Emery both smiled tentatively. For a moment their fear was eased. Tonight was the first time Emery realized suddenly that Mama and Papa had spoken of Liz. The first time in 3 years. Outside, the sky was beginning to lighten. Mrs. Johansson went to the kitchen and began to make tea. I have never been up so early before, Emery said. Ellen and I will probably fall asleep in school today. Papa rubbed his chin for a moment, thinking, I think we must not take this risk of sending you to school today. He said, it is possible that they will look for the Jewish children in the schools. Not go to school? Ellen asked in amazement. My parents have always told me that education is the most important thing. Whatever happens, I must get an education. This will only be a vacation, Ellen. For now, your safety is the most important thing. I'm sure your parents would agree. Ink. Papa called Mama in the kitchen and she came to the doorway with a teacup in her hand and a questioning look on her face. Yes, we must take the girls to Henry's. You remember what Peter told us. I think today is the day to go to your brother's. Mrs. Johansson nodded. I think you are right. But I will take them. You must stay here. Stay here or let you go along? Of course not. I wouldn't send you on a desert trip alone. Mama put a hand on Papa's arm. If only I go with the girls, it will be safer. They are unlikely to suspect a woman and her children. But if they are watching us, if they see all of us leave, if they are aware that apartment is empty, that you don't go to your office this morning, then they will know. Then it will be dangerous. I am not afraid to go alone. It was very seldom that Mama disagreed with Papa. Emery watched his face and knew that he was struggling with the decisions. Finally, he nodded reluctantly. I will pack some things, Mama said. What time is it? Papa looked at his watch. Almost 5, he said. Henry could still be there. He leaves around 5. Why don't you call him? Papa went to the telephone. Ellen looked puzzled. Who is Henry? Where does he go at 5 in the morning? She asked. Emery laughed. He's my uncle, my mother's brother, and he's a fisherman. They leave very early, all the fishermen each morning. Their boat go out at sunrise. Oh, Ellen, she went on, you will love it there. It is where my grandfather lived, where Mama and Uncle Henry grew up. It is so beautiful right on the water. You can stand at the edge of the meadow and look across the Sweden. She listened while Papa spoke on the telephone to Uncle Henrik, telling him that Mama and the children were coming for a visit. Alan had gone into the bathroom and closed the door. Mama was still in the kitchen, so only Aunt Marie was listening. It was a very puzzling conversation. So, Henry, is the weather good for fishing? Papa asked cheerfully and listened briefly. Then he continued. I'm sending ink to you today with the children, and she will be bringing you a carton of cigarettes. Yes, just one, he said after a moment. Mary couldn't hear Uncle Henry's words, but there are a lot of cigarettes available in Copenhagen now. If you know where you look, he went on, and so there will be others coming to you as well, I'm sure. But it wasn't true, and Mary was quite certain it wasn't true. Cigarettes were the thing that Papa missed the way Mama missed coffee. He complained often. He had complained always yesterday that there were no cigarettes in the stores. The man in his office, he said, making a face, smoked almost anything, sometimes tried with roller in paper, and the smell was terrible. Why was Papa speaking that way, almost as if he were speaking in court? What was Mamma really taking to Uncle Hendrik? Then she knew it was Ellen.
Okay. Bao Tran, would you like to read now?
Okay. The train ran north along the tennis course was very beautiful. Again and again they could see the sea from the window. And Mary had made this trip often to visit her grandparents when they were alive, and later, after they were gone, to see the cheerful, suntan, unmarried uncle whom she
Whom,
loved.
whom she
Whom
loved.
she loved. But the trip was new to Ellen, who sat with her face pressed to the window, watching the lovely homes along the seaside, the small farms and villages. Look, Emily exclaimed and pointed to the opposite side. It's Clampenburg and the deer park. Oh, I wish we could stop here just for a little while. Mamma shook her head. Not today, she said. The train, is stopped at the small Clampenborg station, but none of the few passengers got off. Have you ever been there, Ellen? Mamma asked, but Ellen said no. Well, someday you will go. Someday you will walk through the park and you will see hundreds of deer tame and free. First they let her wriggle her knees and peered through the window. I don't see any deer, she complained. They are there, I'm sure, Mama told her. They're hiding in the trees. The train started again. The door at the end of the car opened and two German soldiers appeared. Americans, not here on the train too. They were everywhere. Together the soldiers drove through the car, glancing at passengers, stopping here and there ask questions. To ask a question, one of them had something stuck in his teeth. He prodded with his toe and
Distorted.
distorted his own face. Emery watched with a kind of frightened fascination as the pair approaches. One of the soldiers looked down with a bored expression on his face. Where are you going? He asked.
Gilliledge.
Yes, Mama replied calmly. My brother lives there. We are going to visit him. The soldiers turned away and Mary laughed. Then, without warning, he turned back. Are you visiting your brother for the New Year? He asked suddenly. Mama stared at him with a puzzled look. New Year, she asked. It is only October. And guess what? Kirsty exclaimed suddenly in a loud voice, looking at the soldier. Emery heard sank, and she looked at her mother. Mama's eyes were frightened. Shh, Kirsty, Mama said, don't chatter so. But Kirsty paid no attention to Mama as usual. She looked cheerfully at the soldier, and Emery knew what she was about to say. This is our friend, Ellen, and it's her New Year. But she didn't. Instead, Kirsty pointed at her feet. I'm going to visit my Uncle Henrik. She chirped. And I'm wearing a brand new shiny black shoes. The soldier
Chuckled. It means he laughed.
chuckled and moved on. Emery gazed through the window again. The trees, the Baltic Sea, and a cloudy October sky passed in a blur as they continued along the coast. Smell the air, Mama said when they stepped off the train and made their way to the narrow street. Isn't it lovely and fresh? It always brings back memories for me. The air was freezing cold and carried a sharp, not unpleasant smell of salt and fish. High against the pale clouds, seagulls soared and cried out as if they were murmuring. Mama looked at her watch. I wonder if Henry will be back yet. But it doesn't matter. The house is always unlocked. Come on, girls, we will talk. We will walk. It isn't far, just a little under 2 miles. And it's a nice day. We will take the path through the woods instead of the road. It's a little longer, but it's so pretty. Didn't you love the castle when we went through
Elsinore.
Helsingor? Percy, as she had been talking about Kronborg's castle ever since they had seen it, sprawling, massive and ancient, beside the sea from the drain. I wish we could have stopped to visit the castle. Kings lived there and queens.
Okay, I'll finish now, okay? Anne-Marie sighed in exasperation with her little sister. They do not, she said. They did in the old days, but there aren't any kings there now. Denmark only has one king anyway, and he lives in Copenhagen. But Kirsty had pranced away, skipping along the sidewalk. Kings and queens, she sang happily, kings and queens. Mama shrugged and smiled. Let her dream, Anne-Marie. I did the same when I was her age. She turned, leading the way along a tiny twisting street, heading toward the outskirts of the village. Things have hardly changed here since I was a girl, she said. My Aunt Gitta lived there in that house, she pointed, and she's been dead for years. But the house is the same. She always had wonderful flowers in the garden. She peered over the low stone wall and looked at the few flowering bushes as they passed the house. Maybe they still do, but it's the wrong time of the year. There are just these few chrysanthemums left. And see over there, she pointed, my best friend, her name was Helena, lived in that house. Sometimes I used to spend the night with her, but most often she came to my house on weekends. It was more fun to be in the country. My brother Henrik always teased us, though, she continued with a chuckle. He told us ghost stories and scared us half to death. The sidewalk ended and Mama turned onto a dirt path bordered by trees. When I walked each morning into town for school, she said, my dog followed me this far. At the end of the path, he turned and went back home. I guess he was a country dog and didn't like town. And do you know what? She said, went on smiling. I had named him Trofast, faithful, and it was just the right name for him, because what a faithful dog he was. Every afternoon, he was always right here waiting for me to return. He knew the right time somehow. Sometimes as I come around this bend, even today, I feel as if I might come upon Trofast waiting still with his tail wagging. But the path was empty today. No people, no faithful dogs. Mama shifted the bag she was carrying from one hand to the other. They walked on through the woods until the path opened to a meadow dotted with cows. Here the path skirted the edge of the field along a fence, and beyond it they could see the gray sea ruffled by wind. The breeze moved the high grass. At the end of the pasture, they entered the woods again, and Anne-Marie knew they would soon be there. Uncle Henrik's house was in a clearing beyond these woods. Do you mind if I run ahead? She asked suddenly. I want to be the first to see the house. Go, Mama told her. Run ahead and tell the house we've come. Then she put her arm around Ellen's shoulders and added, say that we brought a friend. Okay. Well, it was good to see you, and I will send the questions for this week, and when you're finished, you can send them back to me, okay?
Okay.
Okay, and you have a very good week and weekend, okay?
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.